In your opinion, do you feel homosexuality can be cured?
Yes. It's more of a mental thing sometimes. I don't feel it's important because if it was, there wouldn't be humanity, would there?
Okay.
I mean, that's what I agree on that point of view. And to that, it's more of a psychology thing because, like, if you've ever noticed how your brain is when it's young, and if you have a development issue in that stage, it can develop that part. Like, if you have a trauma in that brain, the brain usually thinks, okay, guys are okay with women, but then when you have the guy thing and if you have also had that done at first instead of with the woman first, then you also go more towards the end, especially if you had a bad experience with a woman, which has happened before, that can trigger that. Especially if you also have had like an issue when you were young by your brother or something like that, or a friend, and that can also trigger that. So it's more a mental thing, and not to mention how you think about it as well.
Do you feel that homophobia can be cured?
To me, I feel that there's no such thing as homophobia. Because homophobia, okay, phobia is basically this being scared of something. It's the fear of the unknown. So, by being homophobic, I don't feel that there is actual term as homophobia because if you're homophobic, you're kind of, so you're saying you're afraid of a person. That's just singling them out pretty much, and that's wrong. And I don't find that to be okay because as part of the LGBT community, I feel that it is more better to be accepting than it is to just kind of just discriminate against them for that reason. It's not right and it's not human. We're all human. We make mistakes. I'm not saying being a homo is a mistake. I'm just saying it's something that we do, and it's like trial and error. For some people, a lot of people in the LGBT community actually, the only reason why they're in the community is because they're just trying things out. That's why our parents say, "Oh, you don't know that you're bisexual." I know how I am because I've been with a woman, I've been with a man. Both of them, I don't care. To me, they're fine. It's fine either way.
Right. Thank you.
I have a different understanding than actually. I feel, even though I've been with a woman, and even though I've been with a man, I would say the only problem I've had is because I've been with a man. Like I said, the thing I told you about, that was basically a true story of how I've been with a man before a woman, and the woman didn't go well.
Okay.
So I went more towards the man. Even though I'm still with the woman, like I said, it's mentally a thing in the brain.
Right.
It's not that if I like that or not. It's more of how you can say it all you want, but if your brain is tweaked because of how it's been told or it's had a trauma, trauma things have to be resolved and removed or dissolved. If they don't, it'll just continue.
You have to
like
heal.
I still struggle with it.
Okay. That's beautiful. Okay. Do you think that there is more pressure, and anyone can answer it, do you think that there is more pressure for the homosexual people to come out about their sexuality in comparison to heterosexual people?
I disagree. I think it's very similar to this thing.
Okay.
Anyone who's trying to hide in the closet, I guess you could put it as, is just as much as trying to find their way and find their way through. They should be able to show that and not be able to be attacked for it.
Right.
Because it's equal in that
One
way.
thing I've noticed about some of the applications I filled out for employers actually is, do you want to, or what is your sexual orientation or what is your gender? One thing that I always put is I decline to state because some days I don't feel like a woman. I feel more like a man than I do a woman. And I know that's a really weird one, but
Yeah.
I should be on that one.
I've always clicked the decline to state because I don't feel that we should be inclined to say, oh, I'm bisexual or I'm pansexual. If you want to say that to be proud, that's fine. That's just showing an example that you are what you are and you accept it. You can accept it and just keep it in the dark, like he said, hiding in the closet. That's fine. No one said you ever had to. I feel that in the world now, there's no need to. I mean, if you say it, okay, it's just accepted now.
Right.
Better than it was before.
Okay, and last question. What can we do as a community to minimize the hate crimes against the LGBT plus community?
You want to answer?
I would say for hate-wise and just discrimination in general, it's like with the blacks, no different.
Okay.
Not to be anything towards it, of
No,
course.
yeah.
But even with the whites or anything like that.
Mhm.
Like, for instance, this might be a little off, but like, you know how they say black people kill black people? But they also haven't killed the white people? Well, actually, it's more of that than it is. I mean, I know the blacks are killing more of the whites and the blacks, but it's not the particular people. It's all separate. But there's just it's not a particular group.
Okay.
It's just those particular people that have been taught a certain way by their family to hate these people.
Right.
And so if we can minimize who they teach, it basically comes down to the family point of view.
Exactly.
Teach your kids not to hate
Yes.
on any
So
religion.
basically, if they can get it down to
Or
the level of love everybody, basically.
Basic.
Don't condone what they do, but still care for them.
Right.
There's
Treat
a
them
difference.
as a person.
Yeah, it's like there's a difference from liking someone and getting along with them. You don't have to like the person to get along with them.
And I think one thing that also helps our community is like relationships like mine and his. I'm dark skinned, he's white. I think interracial relationships are helping out to help with that, because I know racism is a really big hate crime right now in the world. Just some people hate on Muslims or African Americans, you know.
But see, it's particular in particular. It's not a particular gender or group.
It's just
like-
anybody.
This is gonna be a big one. It's like ISIS. It's no different. They're just groups.
Right.
They're just people in particular that just want the world to burn.
Right.
It's not a particular person. It's just people. People have certain groups and they choose those certain groups because they think they're doing the right thing when they don't.
Right.
Yeah.
It's that particular person. You put a bunch of people together and you get a group of them.
Mm-hmm.
It's the individual
it's
itself,
just the
not the
teaching.
group.
It's just how they're taught. Like you said, if you teach your kid to punch somebody every time they get angry, they're gonna punch someone every time they're angry. You teach a kid to cuss while they're little, they're gonna learn it. Or if they hear you cuss, because like kids are like sponges.
Right.
Well, actually,
Happens a lot now.
soft people are like sponges. For example, me, I'm a sponge to all the cussing and everything that goes in
Negativity.
my house. There's a lot of negativity in my house, and I absorb all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I don't always show it, he notices because he sees the more of me than everyone else because he's my boyfriend. But either way, when it comes down to it, it's because I was taught, oh hey, don't do this. One thing I actually was taught was to shut up, because my dad basically, if I wasn't quiet, he'd hit me.
Oh my God, I'm sorry.
And so I wasn't okay with that, so I just stayed quiet. And because of that, I have a hard time communicating with my boyfriend, and it
Right.
causes issues. So I think the biggest problem is communication and teaching, because you need to teach communication, and then, well, you need to communicate to teach, because if you don't, then there's no really way of teaching.
I think the biggest thing, and I think this is the hugest one, it's not related to religion in any way, it's morals. There's no morals.
Right.
There's no particular standard anymore. It's do what you want with what you will. It's like if you don't have it's not a rule, it's a guideline.
Mm-hmm.
You have no guidelines. If you say, oh, it's good to break the glass, but the other person says it's not, there's morals, but which ones are right?
Right.
And that's where you get that clash.
Right.
Like
For
saying, someone will be like, hey, how's that doing? And then like that, I don't like that. But the other person will be like, oh, it's okay, I was taught that way. But see, that's that communication thing.
And it doesn't help when some people use America the free. Just because we're even though we're in a free country, we're not exactly free. Because there are some restrictions we have to keep everyone safe.
Right.
Such as, I know everyone's big on this gun one right now because,
Oh yeah,
well,
look at
the
France.
guns and everything.
Right.
But
They're useless now. They have
the
nothing.
only reason why these massacres keep happening is because unstable people have a gun.
Right.
And I mean, anyone can become unstable, but if the government would actually look at the person and notice they're becoming unstable, then they should revoke their gun license, because then that'll help with eliminating the hate crimes against little kids, or like, for example, the thing that happened in Florida.
Right.
That was the LGBT community that got killed, and it hurt our community so bad, but
Because they think of it as a disease instead of something that can be healed. They think it's something that should be killed. No different like the blacks with the KKK. No different with ISIS. It's just a different name.
Exactly.
Same logo, different title.
Exactly. Thank you guys. That was